money, no place, child.
They're special. So guess what? Labor Day is today, but we're going to go throughout and tell you that is putting labor inside of yourself and invest in yourself. And so for $2.99 class pass only is what we're going to do. If you just want to take classes only, this is what we're going to do for you. So tune in, join with us about what is going to happen with our Labor Day special here for Mpulse Summit tonight. Now, we got something that we just came to us, and that's called a partner package incentive. Say 2 people want to come with you. If you want to bring your partners in, you could do so for $500. That's 2 people for classes only now. Classes only for $500 for the partner package incentive. So bring along your people. Bring them with you for classes only. Everything else is additional on top of a la carte. But if they want to come in and all these amazing individuals, we got some people that's going to come tonight that's going to tell you their portion of Mpulse Summit and what they believe in. I'm Micheline Barber, and I'm going to tell you right now, September 11th, that's right, 911. Who are we bringing? We are bringing none other than these amazing people you see on the screen. Pastor Major Jones, Nat and Alanda, Kai Smith, and Adrian Tabb. Y'all need to tune in September the 11th. That's 911 at 911. Where they do that at? Only at Mpulse Summit. I feel good today because these individuals that's coming on the screen, yes, this is not something that we planned, but look how God moved. We needed to hear from the people. Who are the people, Micheline? The people who have been there, the people who partner with us, the people who believe in Mpulse Summit, the people. So tag somebody and let them know, hey, I heard the people going to be on here tonight. And I'm talking about the people going to be on tonight. We have partners from all over. And these individuals, again, are individuals that believe in Mpulse Summit. They came and they saw, and now they believe. So tag somebody and say, listen, I heard they're having the people champions on here tonight. These are some of the people champions. So I'm just going to bring this first beautiful young lady up. She came off the road, drove off the road, and got straight on the live tonight. When I tell you, listen to her heart tonight. Listen to what she's going to say. None other than Miss Mimi Wilson. And we have another beautiful young lady. And when I say this beautiful young lady has a heart of gold, I want to see her performing even more. Miss Brianna Chris. And then after Brianna, there she go. Hey, Bree. So after Bree, we have one of our influencers. Now, this young lady, y'all see her. Y'all seen her. Y'all saw her. Y'all going to hear her. Y'all going to know she's in the building because she is what we call the shark effect, right? We call her Sharky, but she's the shark effect. Y'all, please put a warm welcome to none other than Miss Sharky Smith. And then we have another influencer that's joining us. That's right. Tonight, we just giving you all the people's choices, right? So tonight, we're going to bring to you none other than our other influencer. Young lady, that's another key holder. Y'all, please put your hands together for none other than Miss Jada. And then, oh my God, you got somebody else. You got somebody else. I see you. We got to bring this young lady that, when I tell you, Johnny on the spot, she knows her information, but her heart is gold. I'm talking about golden. Y'all, please put a warm welcome and a hug for none other than Miss Dreadlock Diva, Tracy Nicole. Oh, and I got somebody else for you now. You know, we got all these beautiful ladies. Yes, we do. We got all these. But you know, it would not be right if we did not have a male. We got to bring him on. Him and I go way back, okay? We was playing in the sand together, like for real. When I dropped my lollipop, he was the one that cleaned it out for me. Y'all, please welcome none other than Mr. Steven. Yay! You know what? I feel like they need to tag some people because they need to let everybody know what's really going on this evening. Now, we got some people in the back. I don't know where they're going to pop up a little later. You know, he will stick his head out. But anyway, let's get with it. So tonight, how did this come about? Nobody but God, right? And when I say that, he started choosing people. And it's a whole bunch of people that we could have called and called us. It was right on time. Stephen called me a couple of minutes ago. But let's get to the people choice, right? I'm going to start with you, Mimi. This is our second year with you, right?
Yes.
Second year. What is it? Why you keep coming back? What's up with that?
First of all, God said yes. It was the service for me. It was just the welcoming, coming there and knowing people on social media, but meeting them face to face. And it was like, I just was like, okay, this family. But it was the service, the church service that really, really did it. I always tell the story when I came live and I was telling people I walked in the service late, but I was on time for the message. And it was like, as you know, your preacher, your pastor was preaching, I can hear God's voice say, just say yes. Because, you know, a lot of times we run. And on last year, it was breathe. And God said, you've been walking dead. God said you to breathe, because anything that's breathing, it is living. And so the way that I came, I didn't leave the same. God said yes. And when I opened up my mouth and said yes, now I ain't saying I ain't had trials and tribulation, but baby, when I tell you the vision was clear, I can see clearly now. So I had to come back again. Yeah. Just because of the experience. So I said, if it was good on last year, I already know when you say big, bigger, and better, it's going to be even better on this year. Because why? I believe. That's not just believing in myself, but also believing in the movement that you have placed in front of us. You are the forerunner here. And so when you believe that much, Mitch, how can I not believe?
Right.
So that's why I'm going to keep coming back and supporting.
I love it. So we're going to talk to you a little bit more, because you're bringing some people with you. Now, you already said, hey, I got my mama, I got my sister, I got some people coming. Hey, Danita! Yay, Danita joined us in the building. So, Bree, this is your third year?
Yes, ma'am.
Year with Mpulse Summit. Why? Well, I'm just going to say why. What is your why? I'm writing all these down now. Don't think I'm looking down, not taking notes. And those who are out there, tag somebody, because they need to be on there as to why they need to be at Mpulse Summit.
Well, my why is kind of whenever I've been, or when I was, ever since I was connected to, I'm from Minnesota. What I found is we're not as close knit. The beauty profession, our industry, we're not as close knit faith wise as when I think back when I went to like a mentorship academy and Denise Michelle, and I was like, okay, there are people who are connecting their faith and, you know, profession, and okay, I found my tribe. And then I believe like Mpulse was next. And it was like, wow, just such excellence. I believe the first year, the theme was it stretch?
Right.
Okay. And I remember the theme because the praise dancer was ministering dance to take the limits off. So I praise dance. So that was like, it was so timing. And I was like, that was a great selection. But I believe that year, each year I can see that, you know, you are interceding for the people. You are going to God saying, what is it that the people need? And that year I needed to be stretched. The following year, breathe. I think I went into it intending to take a bunch of business classes and took nothing pertaining to business. It was all for me. It was all for, you know, my personal growth, to release and to, you know, just get what I needed spiritually, to get refilled and to be able to breathe again. So it's always just done with such excellence, and it's very Holy Spirit led. So hey, I told you, I think that first year, I was like, oh, you got me. I'm over here.
You know, and I want to mention this. Your first year, you was obedient enough to bring your flags, and you
performed. That was last year. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, without even second guessing, She was like, okay, this is going to be done. So a lot of times people are like, oh no, I'm going there just to take classes. No, he was obedient enough to say, I'm bringing my flags, and it made such a difference. It was a surprise to me because I seen it at the back, but I didn't even know that she was. You know what I'm saying? So when you're moving and God tell you to move, like tonight, y'all see how I moved? We wasn't just we didn't do a flyer for this. We didn't say this is going to be who is going to be on here. God said, lead the people, and He's leading us to where we need to be. Sharky, what about you now? You know, you tell your own story. I'm gonna just tell you, Sharky. Just tell you.
Hi. So, the first year stretch, I almost forgot about the show, to be honest. And I got an inbox from Mitch. And in my personal life, it had nothing to do with her personal life. I was just going through so much. Nobody knew. And Mitch was like, don't forget your ticket. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming. I got my ticket, and when I got there, I just thought I was going to be taking like hair classes and stuff like that. Ended up taking business classes. I said, I'm going to do something for me to help me elevate. Ended up taking business classes, meeting people, and just to be able to continue to talk to some of the educators, continue to text them, call them like when I need them was just amazing. And the next year was Breathe. And when I tell you that first year, I feel like I was stretched to the limit. And the year after that, to be able to really like come there with a clear head, was able to bring a coat one of the stylists with me, and we were just able to breathe together. It was just like taking a really a breath of fresh air. Really, really needed that. So this year, Believe, I just can't wait, because I believe that everything, whatever that I'm going through or whomever may be going through, like, you just have to believe that you are supposed to be there, and know that when you get there, you're going to meet the people you're supposed to meet, learn what you need to learn, and be able to take it with you. So I'm believing everything that God has for me in this season here, so I can just continue to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I'm very grateful for the summit. So anytime that I can bring someone along, or just tell them you just need to get there. You need to get there. I go back to stretch. I go back to breathe. I go back to like everything just falls in place. So it's just a blessing to be able to meet people and continue on this journey.
Yeah, I love it. And we're talking about influence and how you got involved in that. Jada, what's your story? I'm not gonna tell your story. You tell your story. You tell your
story. So I've been to other conferences, conventions, and shows, and at the end of the show or the conference, I was like, I don't feel like I actually received what I paid into. I didn't get the return. So when I got the invitation to come to the summit for the very first time, let me let y'all know, Micheline jumped in my inbox to let me know about the summit, because I had never heard of it before. And so I ended up praying about it. When I prayed about it, God said yes. I said, okay. I get there and I'm flabbergasted. Just when I first hit the door, it was just like unbelievable. You could see the organization, you could see the unity in the team. It was flawless, to be quite honest with you. And so I upgraded right there on the spot when I first opened, came through the door and went to registration. And so I've been stuck ever since. I have been. There's not I don't regret any of it. It's been such a blessing to be a part of an amazing team, an amazing summit. You got me, ain't going nowhere.
I love it. So Delnita, I know you're new here on the screen, but listen, Delnita, tell your story, because I know you was rushing in to get in. Tell a little bit about your experience, because this is your 4th year.
Well, it will be my 4th year supporting, but my 3rd year coming. Remember, last year I had to go get my son from boarding school from the Dominican Republic, so I couldn't come. Right. But so yeah, I will say my why for returning, and the reason I'll keep coming, is because of you, Micheline. And I say that because, like I think that was Jada was just saying, when you come, you have to kind of have that mindset shift. It might have been Brianna, but anyway, you have to have a mindset shift in order to grow. So at Mpulse, I'm sorry, I couldn't get it out.
It's okay.
But at Mpulse, it is more than just about hair. Like, you are really concerned about the people that come, and it shows, and you are a true God servant and leader, and that shows. And so the first 2 years I came actually as a support to Kendra, to one of the elite educators. But I'll continue to come because just watching you and seeing how the show is your heart.
That's
You
it.
know, the summit is your heart to serve people, to see people have that mindset shift and to grow and to be better in their business, but also in their relationship and their walk with God, and just to be in a better place overall. And to me, that's important, period. And so I will continue to support Impulse Summit for the years to come.
Yeah. Stephen. Stephen.
Hey there.
We go way back. Tell what last year was your first year, right?
First year.
But you've been
Yep.
knowing me for many years. What
Very
made
much.
you invest in coming to Impulse Summit?
Well, first of all, I don't know about anybody else, but I've known you since you were in hair school.
That's it.
So we started off at Dudley Products together. I was already a national educator, and you were in hair school, you know, coming through the ranks real quick. And so I last year was my first time coming to Impulse Summit because you just would not change the date of my for your conference because of my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. So since I couldn't get you to change the date, I'm bringing my wife with me this time.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And she's looking forward to seeing you as well. So I came to the conference, and I've been wanting to come from day one because Mitch, you have been my sister the whole time. I believe in what you've done and what you're doing, and I couldn't go another year and not support you personally, and not only support you, but you know, I know the platform that you stand on with education, and this is my go-to for impartation of great knowledge. And even the teacher needs to be taught. So this is a platform that I get taught and I get poured into both spiritually and naturally. So I am looking so forward to this.
I love it. I can't wait to see your wife as well. Tracy, you know, I got to get used to the Tracy Nicole. Tracy Nicole, you know, tell your story. I'm not going to tell your story. You tell your story. And then we're gonna all be on the screen and have a good time in a few minutes.
Listen, my first year, when Mitch walked up to me in April of last year and said, I need to talk to you. I had no idea who this lady was. And I said, yes, ma'am. And then she got on the stage and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see what's going on. And then she came back to me. She said, I got something. I need you to fill this out. I need you to turn it in. And I need you to be ready. And I said, okay, let me tell you, that was the best thing I ever did in my life. I am so grateful to be a part of Mpulse Summit. The things that me coming to Mpulse Summit and being able to breathe again, because I could not breathe. There was a lot of things going on in my life and I couldn't breathe. I agree with everybody on the platform. When you walk, I'm about to cry. I'm sorry, I'm a baby.
Okay.
Even
y'all almost did it about 3 times. I'm telling you to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scratch my scalp to not focus on it.
Okay. I'm big on first impressions when it comes to events and being around people. And when I walked in the door, immediately, faith-filled family reunion. I have been saying it since I left. That's how it is. Everybody was so nice from the front to the back. I didn't get lost. I didn't say, oh, where am I going? I didn't have to say anything. Everything was in place. I felt like I had been a part of it forever. And from Miss Micheline, I call it Big Sis Mitch now, to Miss Frenchie, to Jada, they're no strangers. No. Sharky, no strangers. Sharky said at my class, I didn't even know she was an influencer. She came in as a student. I was grateful to find out later on that she was a part of the Mpulse Summit and she was really trying to see if I was doing what I was supposed to do. So I'm grateful for all of that. But Mpulse Summit, let me tell you, you gotta come. You gotta be there. It's amazing. Yeah. That's it. God is all throughout every inch of every hallway.
Every piece of it. Every piece of, because we start praying for that ahead of time, Tracy.
Yes.
You know, and I know what your heart is, because again, when Stephen said my heart is in Mpulse Summit, everyone knows I fight for my baby. I really do. I pray, I fight, I'm scratching so people will see what we're missing out on. And when I say that, what we need, and that is to believe even more than ever before. My pastor said to me last week, a week before last, and Sunday, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go over what he said on Sunday. He said, Micheline, every year God give you what to call it. The whole team know I don't do research. I don't do any. I wake up in the morning, I take notes at some words that he given me, and then he will show me, right? And so when we went to church at Stephen Furtick's church that Sunday, right, I passed by and I seen a big old sign, believe, on the side. But it was already in my notes at Stephen Furtick church. You remember Sharky and when we went to church there, right? And I'm like, okay, God, believe. Okay, believe. But every year was make room. It was reveal, which was 2020. It was stretch, and God knows people stretch to get there. Then it was breathe. And when I tell you, so many people's holding their breath, like Mimi said, a dead, walking dead. It was so many people around there walking dead. I was one of them. I needed resuscitation. I'm like, Lord, please help me right now. I can't breathe. Lord, please help me. You know, and now it's belief. He said, you got to remember everything that you name it, you got to go through it. I'm like, that makes sense. You got to be tested on whatever it is that you speak out for your tongue, because faith is, and believing is by hearing. And he said, watch what goes in your ear. See, the thing is that we don't realize is on this screen is the power that's on the screen tonight. And I'm gonna start with Mimi, the power. And I want everybody to jump in, because we have the power on the screen, because we hear it and we walk by faith and not by sight. Even when it don't look right. Stephen called me a couple of minutes ago. Even when it don't look right. He said, Micheline, not only he said, I promised the gentleman I want to, focus on bringing last year. He said, but if not, I want to sponsor somebody else to come. I didn't ask him for that. You see what I'm saying? You got to believe and know that we're not doing this just because we could easily be chilling at home. No, this is for the people. And it's definitely people over profit anytime. So I'm going to just open up. Maybe you can start and y'all can just open up. Because I just want y'all to be very transparent. Keep me from crying. But go ahead, be very transparent tonight. Yeah, whoever want to jump in after that. But go ahead, Mimi.
This new beginning, this is what God been dealing with me on. This new beginning takes a new level of faith. And that's believing. And the enemy is going to come. He's going to come hard, because he's trying to stop the mission. He's trying to stop the purpose. He's trying to stop the word from going forth. But I serve notice on the enemy, where 2 or 3 touching and agreeing, he's in the midst, right? He's in the midst, even on this live right now.
Right now.
And since I send you messages because God lay you in my heart. And one thing I'm learning about is obedience. It may not make sense to other people. Sometimes it may not even make sense to us, but we got to be obedient in order for us to activate the favor of God. So when God tell you to do something, you like, God, wait a minute. When God told you to go to Charlotte, right?
Yes.
You moved on that. So your obedience and your faith, your believing in him, it activated favor. And you've been seeing it. Favor over favor, over favor, over favor, blessings on top of blessings. So when we come in the midst, yeah, we on this live, but when we come in the midst in that room, I've been praying over Mpulse Summit that God, you will activate something. Yes. And you will move not just in the presence of that building, but through the city of Charlotte. They ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. As long as we keep on pressing and moving and what God told us to do, even if it don't make sense, just do it. And watch the power of God and watch his hand and watch his favor bless us. We ain't even going to have room enough to receive.
At all.
At all.
And I could say for Tracy on here, right? Tracy will tell you, she went from one building.
Yeah.
She had one building last year coming to Mpulse Summit. I met her in April.
Yep.
I went to visit her in Jacksonville. She done bought the whole block up.
My God.
The thing is, Mitch said then, I said, I want to go a little bit further. I said, but I want to pray for the person so they can increase, so I can increase. And
Amen.
Jesus, we're going to pray. It's right. It's done.
It's done.
This is what Mitch said before she left. July 15th, the lady who I was praying to move, not only did she increase, she ended up getting a warehouse.
My God.
To put her cars in for her company. So when that happened, I said, oh, okay. So they said, well, I'll knock down the wall for you. You could go straight on back. I texted and told her,
You did.
I have increased this. Your prayers, along with your prayers, help me to increase.
Yeah, we pray right then. See,
right
what
then.
you said earlier, never be shame or shy to
Yeah.
give God the praise.
That's it.
Don't be, listen, I was in Ross one day and the lady was in line and she was just thanking God. In the middle, like, Lord, thank you, Jesus. And listen, I said, she gave him praise right then.
Yeah.
She was not embarrassed. So when we say all things are possible for those who believe, that's what it means. All things are possible if you believe in it, if you trust in it, if you walk in it. And I had to tell God, I said, God, please forgive me. This was the flesh in me. Saying, God, I'm weak. I just did it. I just did a live on being tired. I was the other tired, right? I was the broken down, like, Lord, come on. And then I became the other tired, which is trusting him, investing in him, relying on him, and increasing, enlarging my territory and depending on what he said. So it changed that other tired to this tired, right? So it's okay to be tired, but just be on this side of tired. The other side.
Right.
Right? Anybody want to add on to that? I know we're going to go to a little commercial for you because this is getting good. Go ahead. Anybody? Bree? Yeah, go ahead. Don't be shy. Everybody jump in. Danita? Oh, she was on mute.
I was just going to add that that's a blessed tired. Because that's a place of resting in him and knowing that if he gave this to you, it may be challenging, it may look crazy sometimes, but it doesn't matter, because if he calls you to it, he's already equipped you for it. And he is Jehovah Jireh. Like, he's unable to fail at being who he is. So he's going to provide. He has the resources. It's just a blessing to be obedient, to rest when it's time to rest in him and say, okay, God, now I'm waiting on you to move in this area. I need you to touch some hearts, change some minds, and, open some doors for this. And then to be obedient and be willing to move when he says, move on this, or ask this person, or do that, or go there. That's when we know we're resting in him, because we're moving when he says move. And so we can depend on him to be our provider.
Amen.
Bree, you want to add to that? Y'all ain't gonna cut nobody off. Just say, look, listen, open up, take your mute off. Let's do it.
I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm like,
listen, I got one contact in. We good.
No, I just with Mpulse, just period. I think who was it that said it's a family reunion? I feel like this is, everything about this is such a blessing. Everything about the fellowship, the inspiration, the influence. Mitch, you're very influential and inspiring. I actually look to you as a just as an inspiration for, goodness, this is like, when I see like structured and coupling your faith with, what it is that, it's not just an ordinary hair conference, and I'm like, that's it right there, so it's your faith, your passion, everything speaks and it shines through. And that's your passion at times can have me, you've had me in tears just with, what it is that, you want everyone to get. And with everything that you just want to pour. And, it's such a faith walk. And so as we're all going through this too, you know, it's having examples of each and every year. Okay, where this is how you look to God. This is what it looks like to have teams and structures in place, and to place everyone where their strengths are, and to, you know, do things in excellence. So I'm just grateful to be a part.
I love it. I love you. So listen, we definitely know that everyone who's coming, we have no excuses in Mpulse Summit. We have none. When I say that, those who want to come, we're making it a way for you to come. We're opening up doors. And so tonight, when we said the Labor Day, $2.99. But then today, what I said was, bring your partner with you. Bring 2 people, and they want to take classes only. They can do that. And we're going to go ahead and do that for $500. That's 2 people. Tag your partner in crime. Let them know, hey, you better seize this opportunity, because I'm feeling good today. I haven't eaten all day, nothing but a peppermint and some cereal. Y'all better get me while I'm getting good, okay? But it's because of the fact that my passion is there. So we got the MIM mixer that's going to be coming on, headed up by Miss Jada and Miss Tracy Nicole and Mr. Sean Davis, and so many other groomers and barbers and locticians that's going to be involved in this. We are so excited about the MIM. Trey Trims is going to be there. Scottie Pippen is going to be there. Now, early that morning, we have extended this one just for individuals. It's that PPB, Post Power Breakfast, getting your mindset right. So day 1 is Mindset Sunday. Then we're going to go in Monday and talk about even more business. But be prepared for that Sunday to get your belief system together, get your mind right. So we're starting off early after the Power Breakfast. We're going to Pastor Major Jones for the Sunday Post. And if you have not witnessed this individual here, you are in for an amazing treat, because he is already setting up as the overseer of Mpulse Summit what is going to happen at Mpulse Summit that morning. So get your tissue, get your prayer cloths, whatever it is. We got something very special that he is actually going to be bringing to Mpulse Summit this year. So I'm excited about that. Super. Now, the Cream and Green, Jerome DeMonte, Annalisa Jacobs, Sam Mitchell, and Ashton Moss. We are going to be bringing also DJ Levi. That's going to be bringing the DJ that's going to be coming in. When I tell you the performance is going to be so amazing, so in awe, I cannot wait till you hear the voices of Sam and Annalisa, and you also see the presentation by Ashton and Jerome at the Cream and Green. Yes, Cream and Green. So Monday evening after the classes, we have the release. And the release is anything that you brought there with you, leave it there. And we're bringing in Pastor Siobhan Smith for that Monday. When I tell you, when I met this young lady, profound. I'm talking about amazing. So these are things, and we got so much more. We got the Founders Post. For those who are founders, I think everybody on this screen is a founder, yes. We have a Founders Toast, and that's going to be led up at 9:23 p.m., right? But the all white with the hint of blue starts out at 7:23. Now, I'm into scriptures, I'm into numbers, and God is always showing us, so we want to make it special. So if you are a founder, that's right, Breaking Charlotte, Champagne Toast with the Founders, you made a difference because you believed in us. And this young lady believed in us every year. Proud Reveals partner, Miss Kai Smith, AAHSD. When I tell you American Association Academy of Scalp Disease, Kai Smith is the official partner of Reveal with us. And then we have our AT&T sponsor, past Miss Vanessa Harrison from AT&T. So we have people that believing in us all over, and we're asking why not. So if you definitely want to put your ad on the screen throughout Mpulse Summit, you can do so. This is the MKC line. So you definitely can do that as well by joining us in Mpulse Summit. So again, we have all the Founders Tools. We have the MIM, and this is our digital magazine right here that you can go inside. We are big on bringing brands to you and making sure that you see. We have none other than Mr. Brand Cocky that's going to be putting this digital magazine together. So he is the brand daddy of the industry, Mr. Chris Bond. So I'm telling you, you want to be a part of everything we have going on. You really do. So Signs and Wonders. and I want y'all to jump in for this. Signs and wonders. Have y'all been seeing it? Have y'all been seeing believe everywhere? I've been seeing it, and it's not even Christmas. I've been seeing it on walls. I've seen it on boxes. I've seen it in books. I've seen it everywhere. Anyone want to add to that? Like, and even Dion said it yesterday. He said, "Oh, now you ready to believe? Now you ready?" And I'm like, Dion, you know what I'm saying? I need you to right. I need you to tell them to believe now. So, what y'all feel about that? What y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I would
believe
a picture of it.
Yeah.
Like, soon as I looked up, it was like, believe in yourself. I was like, look at here. Let me take a picture.
It's everywhere.
Right there.
And it's so profound that when it's there, serving our 5th year, right? That all things, it's in 923, and we cannot make this up. And I think Jada met us down there, and I want to say Sharky. When we initially said, when God told us to go bigger, I did not know exactly how big he mean, right? What to do. He said, you know what? We got to go to a bigger place. Bigger place. Did not know where we was going. I'm just going to tell y'all. Went there, looked at like 5 or 6 places. This was the last place. And it felt good. You know how you say you walked in? We was looking for that feeling. Like y'all, what y'all look for? We was looking for that same feeling at the hotel. And when we walked in, we was like, whew, this is it. This is where we can call home. We can buckle down. And just to let you know that we bought so much spirit to Columbia, South Carolina, they called again. Like this is the 3rd time calling and say, hey, you're going to do it twice a year. We would love to have you there. I said, we'll think about it. Right. But that's when we left a great spirit there. Like I think Rhea, Nicole, Nicole, I'm so used to calling you Tracy. So many people have said it's bigger than hair.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely bigger than hair. Definitely bigger than hair. I mean, words can't even explain how.
It has a mission. The summit is missionary. I mean, it's a ministry. You have you have different avenues. You have the business aspect of it, and people are congregating to get that information, and then they leave with the return. This is a ministry. And then also, even with some of the shows, with the white party and with the cream and green, we come in dressed in our finest, but we leave with the return. It is a ministry.
That's it. And everybody, like I've received right after, it was just filling my heart. And it was like, you have not rested since we actually went down there September 26th last year. I have not rested. When I say that, rest, because we just, okay, what about this? Okay, what about that? Right. And after the summit, it was so many people sending me, Micheline, because of this is what I have. Look at my keys. Micheline, I was about to shut down. Look, this is what and I'm sitting here like, that's what it's about. They're like, are you going to rest, Mom? Go get some sleep. I'm like, no, Mom, look, read this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, this is what you live for. Like, if you ever live for something that you know you can taste it and you know what it's going to do for people, we live for it. Like, I can eat off. Like, I haven't eaten all day, but I can eat off this because of the joy that it brings. The Bible don't talk about happiness. It says joy. The Bible doesn't say lean into your own understanding, right? It says lean unto God's understanding. So when you not leaning on what you looking at, and you calculating, you doing this and dividing by 3 and 4, God like, listen, I got it. Oh, you gonna give it to me? Yeah, here you go. Listen, this is what I need right here. Right, Danita? I know you went off mute. What you want to say?
I was gonna say, when you think about how much we pour out in our industry, we pour out in our homes, you know, if we're wives, if we're moms, if we're sisters, whatever, we just pour out so much from behind our chair. We're pouring into every person that sits in our chair. So to be able to come to something where we are poured into to that magnitude, like, it's just such a blessing. It's just so amazing.
That's what me and Mimi was talking about earlier, pouring out. So your cup get empty. But
it gets real empty if you never take the time to allow yourself to be poured back into. So you have to make the investment into yourself.
You got to. Steve and I have been traveling doing, Stephen do a lot of celebrities. we've been traveling doing this for a numerous amount of years, right?
Yeah.
But I still feel resuscitated because when we step on stage, we give our all. At the end, we are so exhausted. Right? Sometimes we can sleep standing up.
Yep. And sometimes we do sleep standing up.
Yeah.
I just want to jump. I want to jump in on this because this is way too hot. You know, I was thinking back when you were just saying, Mitch, about you know, Columbia was calling for you, you know, to come back. We should make such an impact, not for our own glory, but to be used by God. And if we impact people the way we're ordained from the Lord to do so, they should feel a difference. They should feel like there's something missing when we leave. Not that we're trying to add any glory for ourselves, but God has given us a gift, and we have imparted that gift or been a usable vessel to be able to bless His people. So that is our mission, is to empower and to impact and to help cultivate people into the things that God has placed in their own heart. And you know, I remember hearing, I think Mitch, you said last year during the conference, like, you know, how much of a weight it was to do this, but it's so much bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
And so many times we do get discouraged in the midst of the pour out, because we're emptying from not only our being, but the overflow as well, because we're just being usable vessels. So I just think about just last year, how much of the impact that it was made in my life. And I'm not one of those ones that's thinking about giving up, but I'm definitely one of those ones that's trying to help to empower others. But it may be a time where I am in that space where I want to give up, and I need somebody to encourage me. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to encourage somebody else to continue doing what is in their heart, hopefully to reignite that excitement that's in them. Because oftentimes the reason why people want to leave the industry is because they were out of balance. They were out of touch with themselves. They lost themselves in the midst of the outpouring. But it just takes platforms like this, Mpulse Summit, to really pour back into other people, so that can be an igniting factor to hopefully encourage them to continue on.
I love it. And one thing that you said earlier, Stephen, you said, I want to make sure that I invest in someone so they can witness it. I want them to feel what I feel, or what I felt for your daughter and yourself when you came, right? And as we're looking at it, and you have that passion, that desire to be feeling it for somebody else, God is going to always replenish back to you, because you didn't think about yourself. You didn't. I don't put myself front before this. Like, even when Chris wanted to put my picture on there, I'm like, oh, Chris. He's like, Micheline, you got to. I was like, can we just put, the first year, I'm like, can we just do this? He was like, no. You know what I'm saying? And he's pushed me, and I know he pushed everybody on the screen. He's pushed us to where we have the potential that's inside of us, right? And when we are going through a birthing, and I want to share this, what Pastor said Sunday, because I take copacetic notes. He said, it's the promise, the process, the problem, and the power, right? And he talked about, this is unbelievable. The unbelievable part of it is that when Mary was giving birth, right, she has never been with anybody. The unbelievable part was that God blessed her, right? And as we looked at it, he said, he asked his wife, what were some of the things, the symptoms you knew that you was going to go through when you was giving birth? She said, well, morning sickness, a change in appetite, cravings, false signs of delivery, right? Things that you go through. And now, Stephen, you have never had a child, but you bared a child with your wife, right? What we don't realize is that's when you know you're on the right track. Yeah. On the right track, yes, morning sickness. That sick feeling that you get, that you want somebody to get it so bad, right, Bree? Because you just had your event. You want them to get it so bad till you sick to your stomach, like, why they don't see? Why they don't see it, right? Then you get a change in appetite. You can't even eat. And when I say that, you are so hungry for feeding other people, you can't even eat. Your appetite for that craving is done. You don't. And then you start saying different cravings. You want something better. You deserve something better. And I always tell people, if you don't invest in yourself, like Mimi had said before we got on live, if you don't invest in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't know your worth, right? who will recognize it? Who will recognize it if you don't sit here and say, you know what, I'm just going to give it up for this, devaluing who you are. But when you put value inside of something, people come in there and they're like, wow, I see that. When I moved from my salon to a salon suite, that was one of the best decisions God made for me.
Amen.
So used to training people. I was so used to, but God said, listen, I need you to be at a standstill of being by yourself to realize what I need, the other power of what I need you to do, right? And so when I moved in and I decorated and I did all this thing, and I prayed of, and I still got I played gospel, everything in there. When they walk in, they're like, this is so nice in here. Like the ladies who own the suites, they come in, they're like, oh my God, it's such a peace. I'm like, yes. Don't think I don't have my oil up there that I anoint my doors with. Yes, my hinges, my shampoo bowl, everything I do before we go to Mpulse Summit. Guess what we do? We pray before we get there, and we pray while we are there. We walk through the rooms and we pray. We touch the doors of those and say, God, give those individuals that's coming what they're asking for, the desires of their heart. Sharky, you want to say something?
Yes, I do. I just want to say that, it's like a refreshing. It's so refreshing when you get there. And I'll never forget the first year that I attended. Like I said, I was just going through, and it wasn't dealing with hair, but just to get there and get the experience, I was so excited to come back and tell people about it. And when people ask you, so what did you do? Like, what's going on? I was so lost for words for a little bit, because it's like, I can't explain it, but you just have to be there like next year. It's like so much, like, and I've been trying to find scripts along the way, shout out to the influencers. We talk all the time, me, Jada, and Brandy. And I'm like, okay, well, what about this? Or what about that? I even talked to Chris about it. He said, just be authentic. Just be authentic. But sometimes the only thing I can say is you have to be there to experience. But it's such a refreshing, from the business classes to the hair classes. And I honestly did not know when I come back the next year. I said, what am I going to take? Is it going to be the same classes? But when I got back the next year, it was like a different level of classes that were for me. Yes. I mean, it was like the mind and body. I took one of Iwana classes. So that was not so much focused on hair. It wasn't so much focused on business. It was focused on you, some self-care. I went and took another class. It was more than hair with Toya and Shreya. And I said, like every year you come, it's like a new level. It's just so refreshing. So because I was so excited about coming back that second year and to be an influencer, listen, y'all hear that? Listen, y'all, it's so amazing, because I wasn't looking to get anything from it, not looking to, okay, am I going to get a check from it? I just want to be able to tell people you have to be there. It's so life-changing, but it changes you from the inside out. The people that you meet, the mentors, the sisters, the brothers, like so many people on different levels, and what they bring to it just kind of all meshes together. Like every piece of the puzzle just meshed together. So to be an influencer, to be able to talk about it, to be able to leave you out of it and say, this is what it's about. You need to be there. This is what you would get me go there. It's just amazing. And the influencers are amazing in itself. Y'all see us handing out flyers or, doing a little boomerang. But behind the scene, once we get back to the hotel or get back to that room, we're strategizing. We're seeing what everybody is doing in their business, in their life, what's going on. Okay, let's regroup. We're going to leave it here. And now let's go back to our places and we're going to check in. So it's just a refreshing, all around amazing. I wouldn't give up being an influencer for nothing. I'm in it. You need to be there. You need to experience it. Hit us up, our inbox, and we'll just let you know what's going on. But you have to be there. It's just such refreshing. It's so refreshing to be a part of Mpulse.
And I want to speak to the impact, just to kind of piggyback off of that. My personal desire is not to be a part of anything that's not going to be impactful, whether it's impacting me, whether it's something that I'm doing to impact others. That's just I don't want to do anything just to be doing it. And so going to Impulse the first year, I didn't quite know what to expect, but just in everything that I received and how I was impacted the following year, when I hit so many different, it was like so much warfare, so much adversity getting there. Like, I think I was like, my flight was canceled. I didn't get on the flight. And then I wasn't going to be able to make it there. I had to fly I was reverted to North Carolina. I Ubered all the way over to South Carolina, but it was just because of how I was impacted the year before. I knew I needed to be there. Like, it was just this desire, this strong, I needed to be there. So, because it's literally, you're receiving everything you need. Like like we all have mentioned, we pour out so much. And then also at the same time, there's the pressure of needing to stay on top of your craft and learning what's new. And, so it's, and I believe during that time, last year I was going through so much transition in my life, that it was like, you know what, I'm just going to press. I know I need to be there. And, and in turn, my desire to be impactful in others' lives, and what I do with, the event that I'm also, I'm a co-planner for. I know what that event did for me before I became a planner of it, what it did for my business. I want to do that for others. When I minister and dance, it irks me so much to see others who just do whatever, but they're not telling the story. They're not allowing the word to flow through them. So it's being impactful in every way. That's my own personal mission and journey, being impactful and being involved in things that are impactful, personally as well. So that's one thing that I can speak to for Mpulse Summit. It is very impactful.
And I know Mimi want to say something too. So we had a meeting one time with the influencers, and I'm not going to cry about this, right? It was a Sunday. My grandson was here, and Frenchie had a meeting with the influencers. And I asked them, why do you want to be an influencer? Right? Because like Sharky said, it's not about the money. It's not about that, but it's about building each other. And I boo-hoo cried, because when somebody can believe in your assignment and your mission that much to where they want to be a part of something and say, listen, Mitch, we don't need this. We don't need that. This is what we do. This is what we believe in. And when you see that, and I'm on the phone, I'm holding my grandson, I'm steady crying. Y'all remember that was on live? I'm like, y'all have no idea. When somebody can do that, when you trust in something so much, because this is a baby. Every year I give birth. Every year I go through labor pains. Because I feel, like I said last year, I get cut every time I got to hear, Mitch, I'm going through this. Mitch, this is happening in my family. Mitch, I'm losing this. Mitch, that hurts me. And I'm like, listen, you just got to be there. It's a promise that I know I got to tell anybody. You got to be there. It's no excuses for you not to receive what God is waiting on you, right, Mimi? What is there, regardless if you late or not. One lady said, I can call it home one day. That one day gonna make a difference. That one day, that 30 minutes just listening to Pastor, that 30 minutes of just listening to Stephen, of y'all, hugging each other and just joining, that 30 minutes, it's gonna make a difference in your life for the rest of your life.
That's right.
For the rest of your life, because we all have became sisters and brothers. So I can call Jada and say, hey, Jada, or I can call Sharky and they be like, man, we had a meeting. I can call Bria, or I can send her a message and say, listen, that's my sister now. What you need? Oh, okay, you need Mimi. Okay, Mimi. Listen, I'm going to introduce you to D'Angelo, and then I'm going to introduce you, right? I'm already setting it up. You got to be willing to set up for something, set somebody up for success. Stop trying to help people fail. Oh, I'm not going there because, it costs this. We know people have spent nothing in return. Nothing in return. Who will speak on that?
Listen, I want to tap in real quick. And I want to piggyback on what Sharkeisha just said. When the influencers actually get together and we have an assignment to do, whether it's going out spreading the word in Colombia, whether we're traveling to Charlotte to spread the word. There is a sisterhood between us.
Yes,
that sisterhood has trickled down from you and the ministry of this summit. I'm going to keep saying this is a ministry. And so when we get together, it is, what do you think? We're taking on each other's advice. We're sharing, our family lives together. It's more than what you could actually expect. Yes, we're there to do business, but there's a different relationship, a sisterhood that is being formed as well. And so it just kind of trickles down from us to the lead educators, to the key holders. It's so connected within the entire summit. You got to be there to witness it for yourself. There's no way to explain it. You have to see this.
And Jada, you, Sharky, or Brandy, y'all didn't know each other before.
No, we did not. We live in 3 different. Brandy is in Columbia. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, and Sharky is in Greenville, North Carolina.
And I mean, when I said the amigos, they are the amigos. we going. I'm like, oh, y'all doing that? Like, they telling me what they did on me. I'm like, you tell me nothing, right? But that's what I'm saying. When you know somebody you don't have to ask them. Stephen will tell you, you never have to ask us.
Nope.
Stephen said to me, he said, Micheline, I'm there Thursday. Me and my wife will be there Thursday. You need some boxes moved. He's like, Mitch, I'm here to serve. It's about being a great servant without anyone asking you, none of that. Just be a servant, and God is going to, in turn, I'm telling you, give it back to you over and over again. Mimi, what you want to say? Because I see you over there. You ready? She's shaking her head.
I'm just like overwhelmed. I'm just like, to the point God said revival. That's what God has given me. We've been revived. God said we have a charge to keep. Am I my sisters and my brother keeper? Yes, I am. And that's what we're doing right now. And it's not about, because we got the same mother or the same father, but we definitely do have the same father, and that's God. And so we have a charge to keep and a God to glorify. So my job is, when you instill and you invested in me, guess what? It's time for me to invest in somebody else. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. That's the love of God, that agape love. That's why we are here right here. That's why we do what we do. That's why we pushing Mpulse Summit. It's not about us. It's about other people. Everything that we've gone through, every trial, every tribulation. I just told you that. I said, Mitch, every season, every time you do this, you're giving birth to a new baby. And going through that trimesters of pregnancy, it's gonna be painful. You're gonna have tears, but at the end, you push that baby out, because you can't stop in the middle of the pain.
No,
you can't give up. You gonna get tired, but there's a boosted energy, and we your people behind you say, "Come on, girl, you can do this. You got this, sis. You got this."
It never fails. Someone sent me an inbox. I was at church Sunday, and one of your ladies at church, she said, Mitch, she said, I was doing work on the computer. She said, you crossed my mind. She said, and I was immediately started praying for you. I'm like, it got to be like something. You got to feel it like, what I'm saying? Because of the fact that when you are pushing, and everyone knows that's painful. And when you're pushing for other people, to get it, come on. That hurts me more than anything, when I'm like, no, I want you to take, because I'm going to leave here empty. Tell y'all right now. I'm going to give everything I have, every person I know in my database. If you want something, information, I'm like, I told Stephen today, I said, listen, you want to sit on so-and-so class? Because like, I'm already like orchestrating different meetings for people to come together, because that's what it's about.
Mitch, I don't know anything about delivery except, I've been a part of the process.
Yes.
And then even when Cordy was delivering our children, she had C-sections. I offered to add a few stitches in, because that's what I do. But the doctor was he was intimidated, because he knew I was going to do a better job than him. But I digress. But when you were talking about birthing, this child, it just made me think about how you have so many stylists that are going through different things in their career, and And it made me think about when a woman is giving birth and how sometimes the baby don't want to come and don't want to be delivered. And there is a greater fight. There is a resistance that's happening. And sometimes that causes more trauma to the mother. And, so I look at how some of the stylists don't realize they're fighting. Some stylists don't realize that they're being resistant to change, but yet and still you're creating this platform, this posture to for them to be delivered. And I hope that they'll be able to receive that. I hope they'll be able to understand that you don't have to stay in the birth canal. You can be delivered. You can be removed from that space where you've been so comfortable, because it's comfortable in the womb, but what about outside the womb? There's greater space and greater opportunities.
Amen.
Can I tap in really quickly as well? Mitchell, when you were talking about the problem and the promise, one of the things that the Holy Spirit was showing me was that Mary knew that her baby was going to be crucified. Like, she knew that when she had him, that his purpose wasn't going to be just for her pleasure of being his mother, that he came for the purpose of us being saved, of us having salvation, of us having healing, but he was going to ultimately have to be crucified. So that just made me think about how we have to sacrifice as, people that come. Like, there's so many things that we have to sacrifice when we come. We have to sacrifice to get there. We have to sacrifice fear, fearful mindsets of lack, of doubt, of thinking we can't do something, or, we have to sacrifice all of those things. And I just want to commend you for being willing to be that one to push for us and to push for our industry, to say, you're going to have to sacrifice some things, but it's for your greater good.
Yes.
So you continue to push so that can take place, so that deliverance can take place. And so the greater good for everyone who attends, can happen, can take place. So I just wanted to thank you and commend you for that.
Thank you so much. Bree, I know you have to go. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
I just want to say thank you very much. When I got the call to speak tonight, I was very, very touched. I'm here visiting my son, and I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm just gonna, anything Mitch needs, yes, because you're just that for me. When I needed to hear something positive in the midst of what was going on with mine, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this just
Yeah,
I just didn't hear something. So I appreciate you so much, so thank you for everything that you do, everything you've done.
A couple of weeks for sure.
Yes, love you.
Enjoy your son too.
Thank you.
Listen, we gotta talk, because my daughter is in Houston, so we got to talk about that.
Yeah. Yes. Take care.
So now, as we're going through the promise, the process, the problem, and the power, right? God, Pastor said, turn your nothing, which is no thing, right, into something. When he broke that down, I was like, God. He said, God seen, he saw, he made, he called, he said, he set, he created, and he blessed. All these things are promises, right? He has never left us. And we can go back and count where we were this time last year to where we are now. If you look at it, because I bought a book and it's allowing me to write down every day different things. If we look at the promises that God gave us, like even Stephen, taking classes, being a, certified cranial specialist, right? Look at where you are from last year to this year. What, anybody want to speak on that? Like last year to this year, where we at on that?
On a new level. new. Everything new.
Everything new.
Everything is new. I can actually speak on my behalf. When I first came to the summit, which was the year of stretch, yes. I believe, attendee. The following year, now I'm a part of the white party. And that was my first real platform performance. And so we're heading again to this year, and it is bigger and better.
Yes.
I will not give you any clues as to what my surprise element is here, but it's about to go down.
Yes,
as you're speaking to this, and like I went up to Tracy, right? God leads. It's unexplainable. Like Raina was there, Kayla's a part of it. He leads me to talk to certain people, even when it seemed crazy to me. I'm like, I'm supposed to say what to this lady, right? You know what I'm saying? Tracy, like, now who are you? I'm like, I don't know who you, right? And now we are connected. And you know, I even said to Chris the other day, Danita, I was like, listen, I can see Danita being a part of next year. Like, I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the little tidbits that you've been talking about, you've been getting my mind resonant and secure. And I told Stephen, I'm like, listen, I know you're a busy guy. Can I just touch the hem of your garment for a couple of minutes because of the information that you have? Like, Mimi, you know, talk about it. We, as Jada said, went from attendee, performing at the all white, to now leading the all white and a class, right? I choose from the heart. I choose because I see your passion. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to put somebody in front of people who may be broken and bitter, I need to put somebody who's going to put them back together.
That's right.
I dare put somebody that's bitter in front of somebody that's already bitter. Because hurt. So I always tell people, if they don't come, it wasn't meant for them to come. Like the young lady said, they wasn't ready yet.
right.
Ready yet. So even Stephen can contest to this. I don't care what we was going through. One thing that we was always taught, leave that there. Because there's somebody, when you stepping on that stage, that need to hear your testimony. They need to hear the truth, because it's somebody. I'm not talking about your car. I don't care about your house. We don't even discuss that on stage. We don't care about that. Where you live, we care about. Did you get this? Did you get this curl pattern?
Right.
And sometimes it's not even about the hair. It's about when your lady came to EMS that we had at Dudley. And she said, Micheline, I spent my last time. They came on a bus. She said, I spent my last dollar here because I knew you was going to be here. I want to give you something. And she gave me a piece of paper right when I was in the car. They was going to take me to the airport in Kernersville, North Carolina. Gave me a piece of paper and I balled it up and I said, okay. She said, read it when you get some settle time. I said, okay. And so I got to the Kernersville airport, and that's when they had Bibles. They used to keep Bibles in the inside of the airport. I'm gonna tell you now. So I got that. That's wasn't on my phone, and I opened up and it was Rebecca. I'm like, wow, your gifts will make room for you. When we don't think about what God has done us, because I said make room, your gifts are gonna make room for you. And when one of my mentors called me, she said, Micheline, if it was anybody, she said, God dropped you in my spirit 3 times, Miss Olivia Barr, 3 times, right? She said, if anybody was to lead people, she said, God said it was going to be you. Miss Olivia Barr, one of the top, when I tell you mentors, one of the top, that this lady here is amazing. When she called me, I just started crying because I'm like, she said, yeah, 3 times. She said, I got to be obedient. God told me to call you. This is the 3rd time. He didn't told me if anybody was to lead the people, you got to be like Danita said, the ultimate sacrifice. I'm willing to do that because I know what people need, because I know what I need. I still need it. Don't think I don't sit in the classes. I'm running around like Danita said, you in class? Where you at? What you doing? Like I'm doing that because I don't want you to waste your time. And if it's not worth it, like I tell you, I'll give your money back. That's just how much I trust in it, right? That's how much I believe in. Like the young lady who's coming from Louisiana, she said, Miss Mitch, she said, will you please, my aunt want to call. She's been watching you, and I never met her aunt. She said, you pray with my aunt. And I was like, yeah, let's call. Like I was in Houston doing an event, took out the time to pray for her and the things that she was going through. Like this lady not even in the industry. See, that's why I say it's bigger than hair. You never know who's watching you. You never know. And faith and believing is by what? Hearing. Watch who's in your ear. All them negative people, all those people that's telling you, oh, why you going, right, Mimi? Oh, why you moving? Why you doing this? Right, Tracy? Oh, in a bigger place. Why you taking more classes, Sharky? Why you doing this, Jada? Steven? Listen, you good, you Gucci. Why you doing this? Listen, all them people, they know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what? This is something I often tell people, especially when you're facing opposition from the people that love you the most. That hits a harder space. So oftentimes we outgrow the dreams, goals, and aspirations that people have for your life. And when you get into that space where that person, you have grown past that space where they thought you were supposed to accomplish and stay, they don't know how to deal with you. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you how to treat me at this next level. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to go go the direction that God is taking you, because it's not just for you to be there, but it's for other people who are striving to get there, to knows you, know that place can be accomplished because they know someone who has achieved that.
Yes.
And it's so refreshing when, you know, I see, you know, Mitch, and I've seen, you know, so many other people in the industry that I love so much and I've grown with. It's like I know that the next level can be obtained because I know someone at the next level, and it seems to be so much easier to obtain that next level. So thank you.
So you know what people don't realize, Stephen, is that every month, once a month, we had to come to Kernersville, North Carolina. Once a month, right? For a meeting. And it was the most powerful meeting. You look forward to the next month. That was a guarantee. You got together, it was like minds. That's how we all became so close. Like we don't have to talk to each other every day, but we feel each other. We sisters and brothers like for life, right? That's what we are getting back to. Like you said it earlier, stuck. There's so many people that's stuck in their own way. You stuck giving birth to your next idea, to your next move, because you're so comfortable. Like I tell people, I was so comfortable with Columbia. I could tell you across the street, there's a Walmart. Down the street, there's a Cracker Barrel. I could tell you right now, without even living in Columbia, where everything was at, right? I'm in a new territory. Guess what? It giving me a new feeling, right, Sharky? It's giving me a new resuscitation, because now I got to learn it all over again. I got to learn this new birthing all over again, and it feels good that I'm able to say, oh yeah, that, you know, down the street, there's so-and-so. No, now, like, listen, y'all, we all learn together. That's why people come in there early. New, everything new. New attitude, new blessings, new things that's going to come to elite educators, new things that's going to come to the key holders, new things are going to come to those who are going to leave it at the altar at the release.
Yeah.
What we witnessed last year at that release, right, Nina? Oh my God.
We need all of it.
Good
When
job.
I tell you that, I mean, Pastor led it, but that end as well, and Pastor Stan to the whole thing this year, right?
Okay.
It's gonna be nasty. All I got to say is keep your tissue, keep your whatever it is.
Amen.
You better put your lashes on, right? I'm telling you, Frankie, that release is not going to be nothing nice. That whole weekend, the 23rd to the 25th, like the 22nd through that, like it's going to keep going through that hotel a week after we leave. Like you said, it's still resonating. For them to keep calling us, it's because you're right. We left them better than what we do. You should be able to lead people better, right, Tracy?
Right. That's right.
After you leave there.
That's right.
A better attitude.
Amen.
A better mindset. Don't be walking in fear. What I see on the screen is every one of y'all have not walked in fear. Yet it was fearful.
Right.
Because you walked into the unknown. My first year, I'm like, well, what am I doing? Now what? Okay, now say it again. Right? But I had to stand in obedience and saying, God said, this is what, bring them to me. Bring them to me. Micheline, Summit. No hair show. Don't call this a show, because it's not. That's the showmanship. We got that. Summons the people to what is going to happen that's going to save them in this industry. Because this is a $7 billion industry, $7+ billion industry, right? It's not about money. It's about what skills that you do to tap into your heart, what you can do. Nothing wrong with risk. Nothing wrong with starting over. Even when we looked at a lot of stores, what they do, they rebrand themselves. Change your name, right, Tracy? You just did that.
There's
nothing wrong with that. You get an opportunity to change your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Your brand and that chest part, that thing that we wasn't humble enough to say, listen, hey, I'm I had $68 in my account.
Right.
Because we don't want nobody to know that we don't know, that we don't want nobody to know that we don't know, that we don't have, we don't want nobody to know we don't have. But you could save somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, look, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Didn't have it.
Amen.
I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of glory. So everything that I do trickles down. So I'm still fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still fulfilled, right? Who wants to say something about that? The fulfillment part. Because I'm telling you, Lord Jesus.
God said when we release, he will release.
I mean, I'm about to
when
go.
God gave me that, he said, when you release, I'll release. I can't give you what I want to give you until you open up your hands and you let go of all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to worry about who looking, who saying what. I just did the same thing. I just downsized from my salon, which people think is downsizing, but I'm leveling up.
You leveling up.
Man.
I'm leveling up. So
Right.
God said, when you walk in obedience and you release all that heavy weight, all that heavy burden, because I told God I want to walk more in the ministry.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been behind the chair. I've been in this industry for 30 plus years, God, but I've been walking with you, but I haven't been walking for you.
Mm.
So it's like the faith beyond the chair. God said, when you release Mimi, Misha, evangelist, whatever they want to call you, but I call you daughter. When you release, then I'll release. And he's been doing just that. So the fulfillment is not because of the industry, because I did that, the shows and all. I've been there, done that. The fulfillment is being used and being a servant for him, a soul winner.
Mm.
That's what it is. That's the fulfillment that I'm getting from God now, because I'm like, God, I've been there. I've done that. I've done all of that stuff, God. But my purpose right now is for you. What you want me to do? How can I serve you, God? Yeah. So that's the fulfillment.
I like it. Danita, I know you have to go. Last words. And so we're going to talk about feeling stuck and why Mpulse Summit can help you unstuck, just before you go, because I know you have to get home.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me on here. This has been such a blessing tonight. I needed this. But as far as feeling stuck, it is so imperative that we get out of our own four walls and connect with people with like minds, people who live for God and who pursue their purpose, their God-given purpose, because that gives us the fuel to seek out what our purpose is, and then to have a desire and the courage to go after that thing with reckless abandonment, like no matter what it looks like, giving up fear, giving up whatever to do what it is and to pursue what God has given us to do. And that is so imperative to just getting unstuck. It's connected with the right people. So I'm grateful to be a part. And I just encourage anyone who has not been a part of Mpulse Summit or who has not attended to please attend. You will be so glad you did. Yes. So that is, I mean.
And I see you in a couple of weeks too. See you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
So, Stephen, you talked about the stuck. I like that.
Oh, yeah. I call it not only stuck, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially paralyzed. And, it's like you have the desire, people who are paralyzed, and not that I'm an expert on paralyzed people, but you have the desire, but you don't have the ability. And so sometimes there is a hindrance. It might be this spinal cord disconnect. That's the hindrance. That's the root of it that prevents you from actually doing it. But sometimes in our paralytic state of being, it's really our mind or our lack of belief that is the disconnect that causes us to stay stuck in a place where we're not supposed to be.
I like it. Jada, what you want to say about stuck? Lord have mercy.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Amen.
The Mpulse Summit there's connections that need to be made. And I can give you just a tad bit more before we go, that I was on my way out of the door. I was not interested in the industry anymore because I felt like I had done all that I could. And I knew that I hadn't quite reached my dream yet. And it was very vivid as to what it was. So I was like, God, where are the people at that know this industry? And that's when I met Micheline Barber. When I met her, I started making more connections. So what I am telling you and to the audience today, if there is something that is holding you back, and it could be just that one connection that you need to make in order to get just a tad bit further, you need to be at the Mpulse Summit.
Amen.
I love it. Sharky, what about you, babe?
Being stuck. I want to say, if you are trying to figure out who you are, if you are trying to figure out what is your purpose in the industry, what is your purpose in life, get to the summit, because the connections are lifelong connections. And that's from what I have gathered.
From just being there, right?
And Mitch, I used to see her on with another company when it was the Mohawk, and it was just something about Mitch that I was in school. I was in hair school, but I was going to another company, going to their shows, and I would see her and I'm like, oh, she's so funky. Like, I like this. She just everywhere. And connecting with her on a personal level allowed me to then follow her, to keep continuing to follow her, but to connect with her on a personal level was what I needed. And now to be a part of the summit, if you are feeling stuck and just don't know what your next move is, you will get those answers at the summit. You just have to get there. You have to believe in you so much that you want to strive and get there so you can get what you need. Like I said, it's more than hair.
It is.
If you're feeling stuck in any part of your life, get to the summit, and I promise you, you're going to come out a different person. And you're going to be so amazed at where you will be at in life and in the mission.
I love it. Mimi, stuck.
When you were saying about stuck, I thought about a car that's stuck. And sometimes we need people to push us. And when I came to the Mpulse Summit, and every person that was there pushed me. It was like I had the engine and it was just going, and I was it wasn't going nowhere. I was just making noise in the industry, just making noise. Social media, just making noise, right? But when I walked in there, every sister that hugged me, every brother that hugged me, it gave me that push, because I was stuck in the same mold, but I didn't know how to get out of it. But to just witness and talk to these different people doing different things, and talking to women, Black women in the industry, being a lawyer, and talking to, people that own multiple businesses, I was like, oh, okay. Yes. And I was willing to sit there, hush my mouth, and be teachable. So I was stuck because I wasn't teachable, but I had to learn how to be obedient, drop the ego, drop the pride, and say, God, I'm willing. So it was like just being in the presence of godly women and godly women and godly men. It pushed me. Y'all gave me that push, because I was stuck for years, but I was in my way. Yeah.
And I'm wrong with that. Tracy.
When I think about stuck, I think about the day that I met you. And at that moment, I was stuck in a situation that was blinding me from what God was putting before me. And I was so wound up into, why? And I was like, you're so busy worrying about what's going on in the front of the room when I'm trying to bless you. Not knowing that Micheline was the forceps, as Stephen say, bringing me out of the birthing. pulled me out. And when she did that, everything, I got unstuck at that moment to kind of like stay focused, pay attention to what to you, and I'll never forget at the beginning of last year, I watched a sermon with TD Jakes, and he said that I'm going to sit you in a room full of giants. I said, okay, all right, I'm ready for that. And the release.
My God. My God.
The release was the room of giants.
That's it.
The release was the room of giants. Do you hear me? When we all gathered together and prayed and worshiped God and saw demons come up from out of people and people that was going on in their life. And when Mitch told us, I need y'all to get on your knees.
My God.
Your knees and cry out to God.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. He had to put us in a position because, like you said, we all get stuck and we get stuck in our own way. We're all in that birth canal and we get stuck. But God reminded me, you got to get to the most humbling position that you know how. That position is on our knees. And even now, when we prayed, even last week, even now, tonight, I get on my knees. And when I was in the bed, I was praying. But God said, I need you to be a little bit more humble than that.
That's right.
And when he said their knees, we had to remind ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
What God brought us through.
That's right.
Yes.
Without being shame or shy. Without being, Lord, I got white jeans. No, because every stain that's on us. He see every scar. He see every dirt. Everything that we try to cover with makeup and Mary Kay. He sees it all. He sees it all. So why not be very transparent, which is why we love everyone that come, because we tell you, just come. We're not judge. I don't judge people when they say I can't afford it. We're going to get you there. I can't do this.
You will. You will.
Right? Everything. Right. I guess Chris is ready. So, listen, Chris is in the moment. You're letting us know. Listen, what's that song called? Listen, Labor Day, $2.99 special, classes only, but we're doing it. Bring 2, bring 3 that believe in me. We're gonna do it for $500. Bring 2 classes only. You come in, you get the spirit in there. You're gonna want to be a part of everything else, but I'm giving you no excuses, right? None. MIM, headed up by Miss Jada, by Miss Tracy Nicole. You're gonna be there. Sean Davis, Trey Trims. We got that PPD that's gonna be there as well. Pastor Major Jones, Worship, Praise, and Serve, our overseer, Jerome, Annalisa, Sam, and Ashton Mawson at that Cream and Green event. And then we have that release that everybody's been talking about. It's not too late. No excuses. Y'all see the power? Y'all gonna see these powerhouses. Y'all see them faces? Look for them. They're gonna be in the building. Just go up to them and hug them. You ain't even gotta say that. This not hugging. They be like, where you from? That's what it's about. Amen. I'm a hugger. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm a hugger, so I'm making sure I have on my right deodorant to make sure I hug y'all. Listen, everyone know I always say this. Don't meet us there. Beat us there. Yeah. Because God already did. And understand this. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I believe. Love, oh my God.